The Dance of Dragons, a true telling by Grandmaster Munkin, being a history of the war of Targaryen succession between the Princess Rhaenyra and Aegon, second of his name, that nearly destroyed the realm.
The Dance of the Dragons. A stupid name for a Targaryen civil war where my ancestors danced away my birthright. Before the war, House Targaryen counted 18 dragons. By the end, we had 2, and nearly as few Targaryens. We would never be as powerful or as feared again.
Greetings, friends. Today we're going to take a look at the official teaser for the second season of House of the Dragon, the prequel to Game of Thrones from HBO. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, HBO has released a new video featuring the one and only George Martin. In this video, Martin shows us locations from the world of A Song of Ice and Fire that will be featured in the second season of House of the Dragon, essentially giving us a geography lesson on Westeros, and a light tease of what we'll see on HBO and HBO Max next summer. There's no new information in the clip, but I adore Martin's world, and I love hearing him talk about it himself. I'm sure you feel the same way. It's no secret that a lion's share of the events in the second season of House of the Dragon will take place in King's Landing and its surrounding areas. That's where the representatives of House Targaryen will fight for the Iron Throne. At the beginning of the teaser, George Martin shows King's Landing, Dragonstone, and the Stepstones on the map of Westeros. Many of us are well acquainted with where King's Landing is. It has appeared both in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. The Red Keep in King's Landing houses the famous Iron Throne, connected to the most important and spectacular scenes in both series. In the Blackwater Bay, there is an area called the Gullet, above which are the islands of Driftmark and Dragonstone. Anyone who has watched House of the Dragon knows that Driftmark serves as the home to House Valerian, while Dragonstone belongs to Rhaenyra Targaryen. Both castles frequently appeared on screen in the first season. I'm sure we'll see them in the second season as well. The events that conclude the first season happen on Dragonstone. Rhaenyra learns that her son Lucerys was killed by Aemond One-Eye and his enormous dragon Vhagar.
Aemond rose through the clouds, and below him the monstrous Vhagar. Vhagar was 5 times the size of Arrax, and a hardened survivor of 100 battles. Vhagar caught him above Shipbreaker Bay. Watchers on the castle walls saw distant blasts of flame, and heard a shriek drown out the thunder. Prince Lucerys fell, broken, to be swallowed by the waves. With his death, the War of Ravens came to an end, and the War of Fire and Blood began.
After this, George Martin shows us a chain of small islands called the Stepstones, which is all that remains of the land bridge that once connected Dorne and Essos. According to legend, the Broken Arm and the Stepstones were created when the Children of the Forest, seeking to prevent the First Men from entering Westeros, destroyed the Arm of Dorne with the Hammer of Waters. This happened several thousand years before the events depicted in Game of Thrones. The Hammer of Waters raised the sea, flooding the land and leaving only small patches, the islands of the Stepstones. I'm sure many remember that in the first season of House of the Dragon, Daemon Targaryen fought the Lord of Crabs on the Stepstones and defeated him. In the second season, the sea snake Corlys Velaryon will most likely return there. Lord Corlys is a sailor and trader. He made his fortune by traveling to uncharted lands. Everything that happens on the Stepstones directly concerns him. In the new teaser, George Martin also showcases the free cities, Lys, Myr, and Tyrosh. These cities have been at war with each other for centuries, but in House of the Dragon, they finally lay down their swords and form an alliance with their own High Council. In the first season, this alliance is called the Triarchy, and Lord Corlys wants to destroy it and capture the Stepstones to have the ability to sail east again without hindrance. The Crab Feeder was defeated, but the war for the Stepstones is not over, and we still have yet to see its conclusion. Lastly, George Martin touches on a momentous and sad event in the history of Westeros, the Doom of Valyria. It occurred approximately 400 years before the War of the Five Kings, and about 200 years before the Dance of the Dragons, serving as a catalyst for the Targaryens' arrival in Westeros. On one of the days, no one knows exactly why, Valyria plunged into fiery chaos. 12 years before the doom, Aenar Targaryen's unmarried daughter, Daenerys the Dreamer, saw a prophetic dream about the destruction of Valyria and convinced her father to leave Essos before the cataclysm. Fortunately, Aenar listened to his daughter and moved his family and 5 dragons to the island of Dragonstone. This is why House Targaryen survived and was able to participate in the Dance of the Dragons. I'm not sure if House of the Dragon will feature Valyria. Most likely we will have to make do with footage from the 5th season of Game of Thrones.
The doom still rules Valyria. What about the demons and the flames?
Some fans believe that at the end of Game of Thrones, Drogon took Daenerys' body to Valyria, while others hope that he took his mother to Volantis with the Red Priestess Kinvara.
I came to help. Daenerys Stormborn is the one who was promised. From the fire she was reborn to remake the world.
Valyria is a mysterious place, and I'd like to learn as much as possible about it. Hopefully, HBO will show us something more about it while we wait for the new season of House of the Dragon. Agree, the new teaser is unusual, but it's so pleasant when the author himself talks about Westeros. Most likely, we can expect another trailer soon, more like the usual teasers. After all, filming has already finished, and there should be enough material. Now let me tell you something interesting about the Jon Snow series being developed by HBO. An anonymous source claims that the Snow series will be released in May 2025. Of course, there are no confirmations for this statement. HBO itself has said nothing about Snow, but some verified sources believe the information could be accurate. According to the anonymous source, they work at HBO. If their words turn out to be true, it won't be the first leak from the channel's employees. Similar events occurred several years in a row before the release of new seasons of Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. Let's carefully read what the anonymous person said. In the HBO Game of Thrones section of everyone's favorite Reddit, a very interesting post appeared. It says the following: the target release date for the Game of Thrones prequel, Snow, is May 11th, 2025. The working title for the series is Ghost. So far, only the work schedule has been agreed upon. The exact start date is not yet determined, with an approximate date being December 2023, in just a couple of months. The executive producer of the series will be Kit Harington. Other names have not been officially revealed yet. 4 months have been allocated for writing the script. Most likely, work has already begun. 8 months for filming, and 5 to 6 months for editing. Another month will be spent on reshooting unsuccessful scenes and dealing with unforeseen circumstances, for example, if someone on the team falls ill. The show will hit the screens at the end of spring, or beginning of summer 2025. The author adds at the end, "I have no other information about the series. I was exclusively involved in planning and finding optimal moments for the release." Well, as I said, I have no confirmations for what was said. Usually, I don't believe what's written on Reddit, despite the fact that almost all credible leaks in the past appeared there. But this post seemed curious to me, especially considering that other Game of Thrones and A Song of Ice and Fire content creators have taken an interest in it. If we believe the post, HBO will start working on the series in December of this year. This outcome is quite likely, as the idea of a Jon Snow series was first sounded a few years ago. Last year, even before the launch of House of the Dragon, there were rumors that work on Snow was in full swing, largely thanks to George Martin himself, who not only confirmed the rumors, but was also surprised that HBO managed to keep the intrigue going for so long. In the summer of 2022, Martin wrote a long post in his blog, Not a Blog, and shared some useful information with fans. Here's that post. Yes, we are working on a series about Jon Snow. The working title is Snow. HBO plans to make 4 drama shows. The names of 3 of them have long been known. These are 10,000 Ships about Queen Nymeria by Amanda Siegel, Sea Snake, 9 Voyages by Bruno Heller, and Tales of Dunk and Egg, Night of the Seven Kingdoms by Steve Conrad. Something has been officially announced. Something has leaked onto the net on its own, and this is not surprising. Many people are working on the projects, screenwriters, agents, and others, and everyone has assistants. You know, those guys whom you ask to copy papers and they spill all the beans to everyone. The idea of a series about Jon Snow appeared around the same time as the other three, but for some reason, it has only now become public property. No one has officially announced the series, and I cannot talk about it until HBO allows me to. But Amelia, it seems, has already mentioned in one of the interviews that the idea of Snow belongs to Kit Harington. I cannot name either the screenwriters or the producers because they have not yet been approved, but Kit brought his team with him, and it is amazing. There are rumors about my participation, or non-participation, in this project. On this matter, I want to say that I am participating in the same way as in Night of the Seven Kingdoms, Sea Snake, 10,000 Ships, and all the animated shows, not to mention that Kit and his team came to Santa Fe to work with me and my brilliant writers and consultants. It will be a wonderful series, believe me. As you can see, the series really exists, and what Martin has told us aligns with the words of the anonymous source. If the idea is already several years old, it's high time to start filming. Perhaps filming could have started even earlier if it hadn't been for the writers and actors strike, which messed up plans for many long-term projects. As we know, work stopped completely during the strike, but fortunately the situation is close to resolution. The strikers, including those from HBO, apparently will soon get what they want. I would really like to see the series about Jon Snow in 2025. If we believe the anonymous source, it will be released in the gap between the seasons of House of the Dragon and will make waiting for new stories from our favorite universe easier, including Tales of Dunk and Egg. As I already told you, the decision to film has already been made. This series will see the light, no matter what. We just need the Writers Guild to sign an agreement and get back to work. That's all from me. If you liked this video, don't forget to rate it, subscribe to the channel and click the bell. Your activity is the best reward for me. Thank you for your attention. See you soon. Goodbye.